Alright guys, what he's doing is this right here is Durock. It's a cement board. It is for the shower. It's mold resistant. If you look up here, you see sheetrock. So when you're doing a shower, you want to put Durock or cement board, some sort of cement backer board within a shower. Now all John is doing right now is he's cleaning it up, getting the dried adhesive off of there so he can put that piece in right there so that we can continue up. Now you see the mosaic right here. I'll zoom out a little bit. Got the mosaic right here. What it is glass and natural stone. Now, we won't get into grouting until tomorrow, but when you grout this, you want to use unsanded grout because that grout is going to end up scratching the glass. The rest of this stuff, you use sanded grout. What we have is about 1/8 of an inch gap in between right here. So it's pretty straightforward, fairly easy. We got our soap dishes up here, or our dishes right here. Now when you install those, all you need to do is get the height placement, and lucky for us, it ended right on top of this tile. You throw your adhesive on the back of here and you stick it on, you put your tape in here, you tape it off, but you got to make sure that it has some sort of support, otherwise that thing will drop. And that is John putting that final piece in right there so we can continue. Now if you see that piece, you see the copper, what he ended up doing is he ended up cutting that out with a grinder, because obviously you can't use a wet saw for that because it's too fine of a cut. Now he's just kind of jimmy rigging it, getting it situated, getting it ready to go. This right here, this tile job, it's about a day's worth of work. It's 13 by 13 tile with your chair rail right here, which is extremely expensive. So if you got to cut this stuff, if you got to mess around with it, you know, make sure you be careful, because just these pieces alone right here are virtually worth all of the tile in the bathroom. Now sometimes what we do is when you have a wall, a lot of older homes, the walls are off even. You know, I mean, even in newer homes, half the time the walls are off even. So unless you go in and you do the studding work yourself, the framing, you know, it's going to be off. So sometimes what we do is we actually get shims, and we'll shim it up just to get that, you know, nice, even, crisp look. So as you can see down here.
So you can hand me a shim real quick.
You need a shim?
Shim, or not a shim, but spacers. I want to check something here.
These. Where are the spacers? There they are right there. These, ladies and gentlemen, are spacers. They're vital. If you look at this, you'll see that it's 1/8 of an inch. So when you work with big tile, usually we put 1/8 of an inch gap on the wall and about 1/4 gap on the floor. This pattern by itself is called a brick pattern. When you do older homes, you want to use a pattern that you can hide your flaws, because if you're going straight up and down tile, you know, you're going to see those flaws. But when you have this, you can hide those flaws. What we're doing on this bathroom is we're actually going all the way up to the ceiling, which is a fantastic idea. A lot less painting, a lot less maintenance. So what we're doing right here is we're actually taking this, we're doing a full wrap. We're going to wrap around all the way to the door trim. We already have the trim marked, so make sure that you mark where that trim's going to go. When you have your light sockets, a lot of times what people do is they don't do a tile job, a lot of tile work. You tile all the way up to here, because what you want to do is you want to take that faceplate and you want to be able to set that faceplate directly on there. And if you haven't done a lot of tile work, try to use full pieces. Don't piece things in there, like right there where John's currently working right now. A lot of people, when they haven't done tile work, what they end up trying to do is they take several pieces and they put several pieces in there. You don't want to do that because it's going to make your bathroom look, well, pretty shoddy, to tell you the truth. When you have corners, like right here, what you want to use is you want to use what's called a bull nose. A bull nose has that rounded edge. A regular tile, you'll see that straight edge right there. You don't want that straight edge on the outside because it's going to look horrible. So what you want to do is you want to get your bull nose pieces and put your bull nose pieces in there. Now we have our mosaic and our chair trim. Obviously, that's what we're using to go above that. Tomorrow we're gonna grout, and it shouldn't take no more than an hour and a half to grout this bathroom. It's pretty straightforward. It's not difficult to do. When you have a bathroom this size, which is a standard size, you want to take about a day and a half to tile, depending on how many cuts you have, what's going on, how bad are the walls. Now what John's doing right now, he's throwing a mastic on. He's getting ready to slap that piece on. All you need to do is get a bucket, put a little water in it, take your mastic and mix it up. Make sure it's consistent. You don't have your clumps, you don't have your powder, and then you use that. You slap it on the wall and use your trowel. Now the trowel that he's using, usually what we do is we use the V-notch trowel. It's a trowel similar to that, but it has small V's in it. Now when you work with walls or small tile, you want to use that, but when you use larger tiles, heavier tiles on a wall, you want to have something with the bigger notch because you want that tile to grasp a hold of that wall and to stay locked on. Because what's going to end up happening is you don't have enough adhesive on there, it's just going to pop off. You can take a shortcut and put grout in there to keep it, to keep it held in. But that's only a short-term shortcut. It's going to come off. Now what he's doing right now, it's called buttering, because he didn't get enough on the wall, on the Durock, so right now he's buttering the piece. So it has a little bit extra, so it gets that, so it gets that hold, so it grasps onto the wall. You don't want somebody spending all this money on the bathroom, on the labor, on the skills, just to have the stuff fall off the walls. That's bad business. That's no good. Now John here is co-owner to a company called CallahanBrothers Construction. You can find that website at www.CallahanBrothersConstruction.com. On that website, we have videos of work that we've done. We have our contact information. That's a pretty cool site. And obviously we have a couple of videos on YouTube. Now, these videos are more for educational value. A lot of homeowners, they like to try to do this stuff yourselves, but if you're a homeowner and you're looking to get tile work done, do your homework. Understand what you're getting into. And one of the reasons why I tell people that is so that you can provide the material yourself. But also, when you have a contractor come in and do the work, you want to be able to know, and understand what they're doing and what they're talking about. Also, you want to be able to look for flaws. So if they're coming in and they're not doing the job properly or they're not doing the job right, you want to understand that. Because then, that's a situation that you're going to want to get out of. You're paying to have a specific job done. You should have it done right. And that's something that we do up here in Minnesota. We work in the metro area, and you can contact us by our website. And we're pretty cheap. We're cheaper than any company you're going to find anywhere else. And we do that for a reason. Now what he's doing, he's pushing it in so that adhesive gets a nice solid hold. When you have a cut, like what he just cut right there, which I'm zooming in on, you don't have to worry about that cut being that far out. You don't want it much further than that. But because that right there is going to be covered. Now what we're doing is we're using 3 different types of equipment. First of all, we're using a grinder. If you use a grinder, you want a diamond blade on it. If you use any other blade, it's gonna screw that tile up pretty bad. We're also using a 7-inch wet saw. You can find those at Home Depot for about $500. Now if you do any interesting cuts such as L cuts, you know, anything like that, cutting around light sockets, that's something that you want to use. It makes it a lot easier. Then we are also using what's called a breaker board. This thing is extremely useful. All you do is pop your tile in it, you put it under, you take your score, it's got a little blade down there, a little roller. You push this lever down and you score down. Then all you need to do is take either a mallet and, you know, basically break that other piece off, or you can bust it off by your knee. It's either or, whatever you decide, you know, whatever best works for you. If you break it on your knee, chances are, you know, you do that 20, 30 times, you're gonna end up bruising your knee a little bit. But guys like us, we're used to that. I mean, essentially we bleed for our money. And what he's saying is saying the walls are off, which they are. They're off pretty bad, but it's an older house. Now when you're doing Durock on the walls, right here, it's going from Durock to sheetrock. You don't want a big bulge right there. You want to have it as flush as you can get it, so that when you stick your tile on there, it's not going to be sticking out. Sometimes you're going to get that. It's unavoidable. That hole right there is for the shower head. We took that off so that we can tile a little bit easier, so it's easier on us, but we're going to end up sticking that back in.
No, different ones going in.
Oh, different shower heads going in. Now what's down right here, this is called, it's a backer board. I like to use Hardy back. Now when you do this, you want to stick your screws about every 6 to 8 inches. John himself tacked this in. He likes to use 8 inches. Me, I more prefer 6 inches. That way when you walk on it, there's no squeaking, there's no give. Now the reason you put backer board down on the floor itself is so that you have a softer surface other than concrete for that tile to sit on. And the reason for that is you want to have a little bit of give under this tile so that when you walk on it, because if you put tile on concrete, which you can, it wears down. After a while the tile will start to crack or break, or the grout's going to start cracking. So that's one of the reasons why you want to put a backer board down on the floor. It's something that I always advise, and I always tell homeowners to do. Not all of them do it, but you know, whether they take my advice or not, it's their decision. Again, you can contact us at www.CallahanBrothersConstruction.com. And this handsome fella, that's me. This is the guy behind the camera right now. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and again, if you have any questions, you can get a hold of me and I'll give you any information that I can.